Hey guys, today me and Patty are going to be talking about The Golden Age, which is a new song that we have out in the world. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Babes. You're not here very often, doing these things, but it's very nice to have you here. And the reason I wanted to have you here for this one is because you had a part in writing this.
Yes.
And it's also one of your favorite songs on Utopia,
my favorite
right?
song. This one and the next one.
Which next one? Oh, Memory.
This one going into memory. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That's my favorite.
So, what do you remember about the song? Like how it was born?
I don't remember much, to be honest. I just remember, I don't remember how it was born.
Well,
I remember the end first. I remember the end, the la 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 la.
Well, that had been around for a long time.
Exactly.
That was floating around.
Yes.
In the ether.
Yes.
From basically when we sort of started the writing process for this whole new body of work, which was 2019, basically.
Yeah, it all gets really, really wishy-washy to me, to be honest. But I remember, you coming back to the La La Las. No, wasn't there another one that we... What was that?
Well, there was that one song that was and do you feel the rhythm in your heart?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like that. It was very bossa nova.
Yeah,
kind of.
and then you sort of started playing... How did you start playing... How was it born? I can't remember.
Well, it was just any idea. It just sort of popped in my head, you know? And then there was there was the whole outro, the la, 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 la.
Exactly.
But then, so that was floating around and we both loved that idea. And when I played on the piano, we both loved it. Because it's so kind of the Love Boat stuff that we love. We're huge, bossa nova fans, I know.
Well,
it's kind of a guilty pleasure, but we just love it. It has a certain kind of feeling of joie de vivre.
No. It's not love. I am made of it.
Life. That's what I mean. Life, not love.
No, you said that we both love.
Oh.
I don't just love it. I am only that, I feel.
You're just made of that.
If I sit on the piano, I just basically sit. I am the Love Boat.
All right. I would agree with that.
Yes.
But anyway, so this idea was sort of come up with, and then I did a writing session with Nikki and Ross from our band, and we together just came up with this essentially kind of the same thing that was the end, that's now the outro, the la 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 section of Golden Age. But the beginning just never really came together. So it just kind of lived there in the background and sort of we always knew we had to get to it, but there was something in us that was kind of procrastinating about it because we sort of knew we didn't have, sometimes what I notice is, and it's actually happened recently too, where I'll have a song idea. You okay? I'll have a song idea and somehow I will know that I could go and start working on it, but that I don't quite have the parts for it yet. And that it's seldom that I'm working on it in Logic and the part comes. It almost it has to exist in my subconscious in order for somehow the bits to find themselves in the ether somewhere, There's speed dating going on in the ether up there somewhere. And then, so we were so we just moved to Germany from New York after a crazy 2020. Mm-hmm. And this was the time where we just written Rocket on My Feet, Another Lifetime came out of that time. And then, because we were sort of at this place where we pretty much already had a whole record that was to our minds done, and we were kind of shopping it around to different labels because we weren't on Columbia Records anymore. And we were kind of feeling relaxed because we felt like we had a good body of work and we just kind of wanted to try writing some stuff because we had time because we didn't have a way to release it yet. We wrote this outro. It was in the ether, we hadn't recorded anything of it. It was just out there and we sang it on the piano sometimes, we'd play it on the piano, we'd sing it together and we'd be it feels so good. But it wasn't quite, there wasn't the other part yet to go with it, Yeah, and then but this is what I'm saying, is we were going into the spring, it was similar time, I would say last year
basically, yeah.
And it was starting to feel good. We'd had lunch outside in the garden a couple times, it was feeling nice. And then this first half of Golden Age came. Yeah, but I was sort of when I came up with it, I was hearing it in a totally sort of different arrangement, but then started working on it. And then somehow in playing with it, it connected with the outro, with the end bit. And should we listen through to some of the stuff?
Let's listen to some of the stuff and see what we did.
So, Well, I'll just play like a section so you hear all the different like parts that it's made up of. So here's the chorus. So basically the song is, it's this first half, it's verse, breakdown, chorus of the band coming in, verse, breakdown, chorus coming in, and then like a whole outro that's a totally separate section basically. Similar to songs like Before the Dive that we have. So I'll just highlight all these tracks. Here are the drums. So this is again my working mix, not Chris Zane's mix. Actually, no, I'll take it from this later chorus here. And there's all the percussion, claps. That's like me and Patty clapping in the hallway somewhere. Over here, probably, in the hallway. Congas, of course. Tambourine hits. I don't know. Patty and me sort of do percussion together. I can't remember like who did what exactly.
Jean needs a new computer.
Yeah, desperate. So we go, triangle, cowbell. We probably recorded a lot more percussion. We like to try a lot of different stuff, but then like this is what we were left with in the end. I think the tambourine doesn't even come in. Maybe it comes in the mix, I'm not sure. And then we have, this is an electric bass song, like an electric bass guitar. I posted a story about this that people seem to like, me playing this bass guitar part.
How cute was Indy the other day saying that he likes the bass? And he goes, because he doesn't know that it's a bass, he goes, I like the down part.
We were listening to Always.
Yeah, and he's so
just
cute.
like wanted
He's
to
like, I
listen
like
to
the
Always
down
over and
part.
over.
I'm using big words.
Here we go, his drum vocoder. Again, like a big trick on this record was like using this, sending drums to the vocoder pedal that Patty got me.
This was maybe one of the first prezzies that I got you when we moved to Williamsburg.
Yes.
Yes. I got it
Great
at
vocoder pedal. Main drag?
Main drag, yeah.
Main drag music.
Main drag.
A
Good
place
old
we still
main drag.
frequent that have repaired many of our
I know.
things.
I love good old main drag.
Put in a new chorus and fixed up my Juno 106.
Well, that's very appropriate these days.
Gender bender. Okay, CP70. That part is sort of like this kind of vibe again, this sort of weird, playful, like. The sort of like
Can you say it?
combination of bass line and right hand rhythm, like middle ground somewhere. And then we have piano chords playing the footballs, like. And that's the piano that we have in our living room next door that Patty grew up with. Patty grew up playing it. It sounds awesome. I think in there is like a bit of like two mics, like some room in there. Space echo, of course. Anytime you see SE, of course, is the space echo. And then we have this like synth melody that's played by the Juno. The Juno's all the way down there. So it's played by the Juno and the piano. So this bit.
So good.
Is it?
Yeah.
You dig?
Yeah, I dig.
I know, to me, this song just kind of feels like, you know, top down cruising along like the Italian Riviera or something. Just like this like really cheesy image.
The golden age. That's your golden age.
Yeah, when I'm like.
You would like to go.
Yeah, I would
like
to
a
do
little.
that. It would be very nice.
You know, yeah. Well, we're not so far. Maybe we should do that.
We should definitely do that, but with kids, you know. But we could do it with kids.
Yeah, you can do it
yes.
with kids. You just.
But I imagine like, you know, like a romantic.
You just
like,
need to put
mom and dad
sunglasses
moment.
on a chow.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, here we go. Juno keys as well. What's that? So that's doubling basically what the CP70 is doing. Not super loud. And then what else do we have? We have this mini Moog kind of arpeggio thing going around, which you can hear if I just turn it up. A bit of like resonance.
Yeah, you'll hear in the mix it'll come throughout and come in and out.
Yeah. We have a clav, a wah-wah clav. That is, it's a real clav actually. Let's try some of that.
You can hear.
It's like
It's
the crime show funk sound.
That's sounding very
I didn't even did that. I
slightly
think
ducky, isn't it?
yeah, it's definitely ducky.
Yeah. Quack, quack, quack.
Definitely quiet ducky. Okay, and then we have these funky guitars. They're very quiet in this section because I just pressed the wrong solo thing. But yeah, I'll just like yeah. Here we go. So there's a vocoder going on. Let me just like solo everything down to there real quick. So here we go. So then you can hear it's like a vocoder doing the vocal thing. Why is it doing that?
Sorry, I'm like all coffee today.
Like coffee?
I knew you were gonna say that.
Like coffee?
No, not like coffee to drink. I'm like coffee.
Alright, and here we have my vocals. My vocals are not that important in the chorus here. Just hear the Paddy's vocals, which are much more important.
Of course, you say that because I'm sitting next to you.
But I said that yesterday when I was doing the rocket on my feet thing. It's true. I think in these songs, I mean, your vocals are like, it would be nothing without your vocals.
Yes, thank you.
They add the glamour.
Your golden age moment.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to feel that. And then Emilia obviously sang. That's really nice. My godchild, Emilia, who's turning 17 soon. So crazy.
So those are all the vocals. That's everything in. Very full. Although actually there's not that many things going on if you think about it, you know. So yeah, so that's the chorus. You know, and then when it goes into the outro, we go into this like slightly more kind of Ennio Morricone space.
It's my favorite part.
You know, and we have some tubular bells coming in. There were timpanis, but we just thought that was too much. It's castagnettes, of course. There's some acoustic guitars that come in. So yeah, see here you can hear it. So it's like eventually there's a last thing that we added to the song is this guitar solo, which I woke up really early one morning at like 4.
Yeah, I think that in a way has been a through line. Actually, not on this album, but like the stuff that we had before. It was just like you came up with every guitar solo on this planet.
All the songs had a
Every
guitar
single-
solo, and we never had a guitar solo before,
I know, but it's
really.
pretty. But they're pretty amazing. It's like your guitar solo moments.
So here you hear the guitars, acoustic guitars coming in. The hardest thing about this section was all the different chord changes because there's 2 key changes that happen here. You were talking about it earlier. Mm-hmm. It's kind of ridiculous, but somehow it felt appropriate, just in this maximalist kind of way. It's such a maximalist, you know, song. And then just playing through and knowing where the key changes happen. But there was this kind of weird logic I saw in it where it was like I won't be able to remember it right now, but it was like the same chords, but they came like one later. I don't know. I can't explain. Yeah, so those acoustic guitars come in. There's a B3 that comes in there. Real B3, recorded at Big Mercy in Brooklyn, Mikey Hart's studio. Selena lead. Oh, I guess it fades up later. Yeah, there we go. Classic disco thing. You When bands couldn't afford strings back in the day, in the 70s and early 80s, they would use the Selena String Ensemble.
That's why it sounds the way it sounds, though.
Just has such a great sound memory moment.
Yeah, it does.
Mellotron Choir, of course, comes in there.
I feel like that was one of your second synth or something that we bought, no?
Selena?
Yeah.
No.
You bought a mini Moog?
There was...
We
had the little Fatty.
The Fatty.
The Moog Little Fatty was
Yeah.
my first synth, then the Prophet 08.
Oh, and then you bought a Selena.
Then the Selena was next?
Yes. It came before
No, I think the SH-101 was before the Selena.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
And then I got the Selena.
Yeah.
It was like towards the end of Making When the Night that we got the Selena. And then that was The Night Comes Again came out of the Selena.
La, la. Yeah.
That like big pad sound.
Yeah.
Mellotron Choir, one of my favorite
Yeah,
sounds.
before... Yeah.
Always has that kind of Scott Walker, Ennio Morricone vibe. Epic.
David, yeah.
And then Castagnettes, doing this good old thing. It's like one, so it's sort of like 2, 3. I don't know, I just think it's cool to combine these different sounds from different sound worlds, That is the sample, Tubular Bell, because I do not have tubular bells. We have a song called Pie in the Sky that's going to be coming out at some point that Mark Foster is playing tubular bells on because he has tubular bells. And I asked him if he could play them, and he said yes. Triangle, and then all the stuff, yeah. So it's like, there's a subtle shift towards the end. And that is basically, that's Golden Age.
Definitely a golden age moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess golden age, we discussed it before, just evokes a certain time in anyone and everyone, and it can be any time, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's kind of a fuzzy, nostalgic, good place. It might be a memory or it might be a feeling that you have inside. And like you remember that time, or you're in it, and maybe the moral of the story is that you can go back to it, or you can find it within you. Something like that.
And then the other side of that is that you are always living in a golden age. It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like having lived through such turbulent times in the last couple of years. Often if you look at the world outside or you watch the news or something, you just like face palm the whole time. And so it actually takes you in some way retreating from the world to find that feeling of happiness or satisfaction or... Yeah, I mean, it goes to like Buddhist ideas of like you shouldn't rely on the world to make you feel a certain way, But yeah, I think that's it, right?
That's it. That is golden
I'm
age.
just going to play this real quick. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this run through of Golden Age. It was really fun to do, and it was very nice having you here, Patty.
Thanks for inviting me to your humble abode.